Dick Dynamite 1944, an action-packed extravaganza of guns, gore, and glory. It's got it all. Nazis, ninjas, zombies, girls, and gimps. Half a pound of dynamite with a quarter-inch fuse with a body count bigger than Little Big Horse. Stern snars as Dick Dynamite. Featuring Irvin Welsh, Nick Alinari, Clive Russell, Noah Hathaway, and Dick Valentine as Commander Eagles Kearney, featuring members of Biohazard, The Exploited, Agnostic Front, Sleatered Mod, and many more. You'll explode when you see Dick Dynamite.
Now let's start a war. What have we become? United in hate. When did we become a divided state? Don't hate me because I'm not like you. Don't hate me, it's just a point of view. When did we become divided by hate? What have we done? Divided state. Don't hate me because I'm not like you.
Let's start a war. What's happening? You asked for it, you got it. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles live. What is going on? Rich Zola, what's up, man? Yeah, great time this weekend. Great time. What's up, Lenny? What's up, Victoria? Dumpling Danger Mix 1. All right. They're coming out of the woodwork for this one. We like that. All right. Good to see everybody. T and Fuckery, there he is. What's up? Glad you made it. I'm gonna be coming on this dude's show. T and Fuckery. All right. Good. Good to see you too, Dumpling. All right. The Scotland crew is checking in today. Yeah, there'll be some Scotland talk on the show today. Hey, Mick. Nice to see you, buddy. Got your flyer for that, using your flyer for that show. We're gonna announce it on the show today. You know? Hey, Astoria Lou in the house. Go Rangers, bro. Feeling those Rangers. Hey, the gang's all here. Chris Hoffman. Holly, what's up? What do you say we do a show? What do you think? I'm ready. You're ready. We're ready. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles live. Here we go. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited to see everybody. I am. It's been a minute. Yeah. Is that how you pronounce it? Kirkcaldy? Kirkcaldy, Scotland is in the house today for sure. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, what do I gotta say? Now let's what's up with you?
What's up? What's up?
Are you at work?
How? Yes, I am. I'm sitting in the office today. It's nice.
You're sitting in the orifice?
Yes, instead of the cold box outside.
Getting cold in New York, man.
Yeah, I love it. Bring it.
Yeah, me too, man. I love the cold, the brutality of it all, you know?
Yes, exactly.
Let me tell you something. How's this? Hold on a second. How's this? Fuck New York in the summer. Right?
Exactly.
Hate that shit, man. God. Yo, Chris Contos, what's up? Represent. All right. You know. Are we gonna do photo of the day?
Yeah, we should do photo of the day.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, see? Photo of the day. All right. Listen, hey, yo, I gotta shout out the Chud King, man. Yo, women of the pit, so there's still a chance for a future wife, yo. Listen, yo, that's Ricky Mahler, formerly of Circus of Power.
Yeah.
One of my good old friends represented. Wow, they're coming out of the woodwork today. I wonder why. Is Mercury in retrograde? You know? Story Lou says 2 big shows tonight: Maiden in Long Island and Jane's Addiction and Smashing Pumpkins in the city. And Priest was last night out at the Nassau Coliseum, right?
That's right. Priest and Maiden back to back. It's like 1982. Yeah. I love it.
I think, given my choice between seeing Priest in the arena, Iron Maiden in the arena, and Smashing Pumpkins, Jane's Addiction, I think right now I would choose Iron Maiden. I've never seen Iron Maiden with Bruce Dickinson. Everyone loves them. I think I would just go to bug out on their show, you know?
It'll be, you will not be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, this is Photo of the Day. Bam. What have we here?
Yes.
What have we here? Is it? That's a great shot.
These guys
were great. Is it Slipknot? Is it?
You could beat up Slipknot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The drummer alone. The fucking drummer alone could fight an army. That dude.
I'm just glad they're on our side.
Is it Tom G. Warrior? Is it Captain Caveman? Is it Wow What Power? Is it Maroon 5?
Yeah.
Is it very aggressive shish kebab making? Hi, Whitney. Is it the Blue Man Group? Good one. Good one, Jason. Funny, not funny, funny. Blue Man Group. Yeah. Is it Up the Irons? Is it Slipknot? Okay. Tea and Fuckery with the $20
wow.
super chat. Hey, you know what? For whatever it's worth, when you do a super chat, you get to ask any question you want to the guest or to me. So, Tea and Fuckery, that enables you can ask any question. You could ask if you need medical advice or love advice, if it burns when you pee, or, you know, feel free. This enables you. You can ask any question, and I will answer it with a straight face. Is it the long-lost son of Haystacks Calhoun? Is it Animal? All right. Let's cut to the bone here.
Let's do it.
You know what? I'm not even going to go. Look, is the guy in the back chewing a tire?
Oh, listen, shit. If he wants to, I'm not going to stop him. He is blowing like the battle horn. It looks like, you know.
You know what? Let me address this question. Most influential director for you? I will answer that. Probably the most influential director for me was my father, Arnie Stone. I grew up watching him direct and work with actors, and his temperament and the way he worked with actors and people and how he ran a film set was probably my biggest influence. That said, beyond my dad, as far as directors that are, Werner Herzog, as a director, is a huge inspiration of mine. His films are just hugely influential, and just his spirit. So Werner Herzog is big in my world. Yeah, I mean, and then of course, you know, this one and that one, but those two got my dad and Werner Herzog really inspired me as a filmmaker. So that said, how did Arnie's surgery go? You know, I was going to talk about this, and thank you for asking. My dad's surgery was, he went in for hip surgery, his second hip replacement at 89 years old, and they damaged his sciatic nerve. And so there's some complications, and he went from the hospital to like across the building. He's in a rehab now, and I'm going down there on Monday, and we're going to get him into another rehab, sort of like a more of a country clubbish rehab instead of in the hospital. But dad's surgery didn't go perfect. I think when you go into the hospital at 89 years old, you know, anything could happen, right? So, you know, that said, we'll keep you updated, and I'm going down there next week, and we'll take it from there. Yeah, thank you. It's tough because he's down there. He's alone. I had to leave him in the hospital alone. My sister went down there, but the poor bastard is like laying in his hospital rehab bed, basically by himself. So that's pretty brutal, So that said, meanwhile, back on the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, it is photo of the day. If I can find it, tell us what this is. Go ahead.
Well, this is our friends, the non-residents. And I believe they said they were originally from Chile. They have been tearing it up in our scene now for quite some time. They put on a fantastic show. They are just literally larger than life. These guys are all there. I mean, Roberto in the back, and these guys are just the biggest guys and the warmest, friendliest people, but they just play this really aggressive style, and they're so good. This was part of our show that we just had on Sunday, which was a non-residents, incendiary device, live fast, die fast, the slashers, and of course, no redeeming social value. It was there he is. These guys
they were great, man.
Wow, they just
no redeeming social value. I really enjoyed. Lenny says 2 points for the drummer wearing the same shirt 2 days in a row. Yo, no redeeming was great, man. They crushed it, man.
I'll tell you, man. I think it was a great day. I think all the bands delivered. I really enjoyed the Slashers. Actually, I thought they kicked the day off really nicely. And
here you go. Here's the Slashers right here. There you go, Slashers.
Yeah, they were great.
They definitely did.
They were fun. In fact, he said actually at the beginning of the show, he said, "This is the last time you're going to see us for a while." So I'm wondering what they're up to, if they're going to do some recording or if they're, but they were great. They really were. Everybody was.
Whitney says, when I heard there was a chicken suit, I knew no redeeming social value was there. No redeeming social value. Fucking, they got the guy in the chicken suit. They got this, they got that. And then they threw out all this confetti.
Oh, I know.
And then the manager of the club was like, yo, can you get some people to help clean this shit up? Because the confetti was everywhere. And I made an announcement, and fucking people helped clean up.
Well, you know what? We got a good crew, although we did have some very unusual people at this show, I think.
Yo.
It was
nuts, bro.
Tristan, we were talking about the one guy, and Tristan said, the guy in the suit, he said, well, he's both funny and scary. I mean, I
had to deal with like multiple situations. Here's a cool shot you took, and of the a lot of kids come to these shows, which is cool. So here's this kid pulls his head out of his backpack, and I'm like, what are you doing with that? So I was like, this is sort of like the youth movement right here. These kids, come down to the shows and have a good
getting ahead in life.
Me and the kids right there. So you know how I deal at this point. You know how I deal with these kids and with the crowd, because basically a lot of the time I feel like I'm running a goddamn Chuck E. Cheese, and it's like it's romper room, and especially when I have a show, I can't scream, I can't be yelling. So
that's right.
Tristan used this for the recording. So this is my new thing right here. This is my new thing.
Oh, that's awesome. You should paint it.
I'm like,
that's
attention.
Great.
I'm like, attention, subhumans. Like, this way I don't have to friggin' scream my brains out, There's Mr. Wolf Larry Kelly behind me.
Yes. And actually, it was his birthday. It was a birthday cake for him that day too.
It was. Here he is. Here's Larry Kelly. Right here. It was Mr. Wolf. It was his birthday, and
Alexa.
That's is it Alexa or Alexa?
Lexa.
Lexa.
Yes, it was very nice to meet her.
Yeah, it was heavy, man. It was a heavy day, man. It was heavy. You know, Lexa's people reached out to me, and I don't want to get into her health issues or what's going on, but let's just say that she's in a wheelchair, and she doesn't have long on this earth, and she wanted to come to her last hardcore show, and she came, and we carried her downstairs, and it was heavy. It was heavy.
Yeah.
She saw a great hardcore show, and it was, whew, it was fucked up, man. So it was heavy. What can I say? It was very sad, but you want to think that there's some goddamn good, some fucking goddamn good could come out of this thing, and sometimes it does. So, all the best to Lexa, and we hope that we can see her again, man. So there's Mr. the Larry Kelly. Yeah. Anthony was, thanks everybody to help get her downstairs, and fuck, man.
Yeah.
Heavy shit, man.
And you know what? I want to shout out our friend Don Foose, actually. It was great to see him jump up with you guys and sing along, That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. It was great. What a great day. What a great day it was. Yeah. We do, you know what? It's days like that. It's like, if you're not here, if you haven't come to one of these yet, you got to get yourself over. So,
I've said this before. It's like I do a lot of things. I make films. I do this show. I've been on many mics, took airplane flights. You know what I'm saying? And when those shows, like the other day, turn out like that, I don't think anything brings me more joy.
Yeah.
When the community and it happens, and it's nothing brings me more joy. So
I'm with you.
Yeah, man. I'm with you, homie.
What's
I'm
next?
Is
the Rampage Fest the next one?
Funny, you should. Do you want to go through? You want to go through the? You want to go?
Let's do it. Let's do it
real quick. I want to. Yeah. Let's get our guest on right after. Let me clear this. Funny, you should ask. Here we go. This is what's happening on the agenda that is associated with this show. 2 weeks from Friday, November 4th, is the Adrenaline OD book signing and live performance at the Barry Electric. This is not free. This is almost sold out, actually. Fear Gods and Incendiary Device. It's going to jump off tonight. Our opening. So come through for that. A week or so after that, Hegs and the New York Hardcore Chronicles presents Rampage Fest 4 with Concrete Burial, The End AD, Down Low, Next Scars, Fire is Murder, The Last Stand, and Death Cycle. Ooh.
Yes, that's a great one.
On Saturday, December 3rd, I will be moderating the Brooke Smith Sunday Matinee book event at Generation Records. You may know Brooke. She was around back in the day. She took a bunch of pictures. She is a world-renowned actress. She was in Silence of the Lambs. She was great on Ray Donovan, Grey's Anatomy, and Big Sky. Come on down to Generation Records on Saturday, November 3rd. I will be moderating the Brooke Smith book event. Then, this is new show up at the Sawmill Tavern. New York Hardcore Comics presents Polyabuse, Damn Your Eyes, Incendiary Device. It is going to jump off tonight.
Fire is Murder,
Leeway, and that's at the Sawmill Tavern. I told them, asked us to switch Incendiary Device with Fire is Murder because, as everyone knows, I can't function past 10 o'clock at night. So the only shows that if you have a matinee or something, we could play. But if it means that we have to get on stage past 10 o'clock at night, I can't do it. I can't. I cannot function. Past 10 o'clock.
You need your beauty sleep.
No, I sleep from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I'm up at 6 o'clock every morning. I'm like conditioned. It's like Pavlov's dogs, you know.
Actually,
and
you're
then
up at 5.
Sunday, I know I'm up at 5. It's true. What are you doing up so early? Sunday, December 18th. It is the holiday slamboree brought to you by Women of the Pit, CBT, with Faded Line, Serial Poets, Concrete Ties, Voice of Doom, Dijah, Spoiler NYC, featuring Alan Robert of Life of Agony, and Sworn Enemy. So that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what's happening. It's Whitney says shows should have nap breaks. Yo, I tried. Did you see what I did at the show about the phone? I said, listen, in between, I said, listen, everybody could take their phone out right now. And I picked up my phone.
That's right. That's right.
Let's just take a break and everybody look at the phone. It's okay.
You should have a nap pit, like after between mosh pits. Everybody nap.
Okay, and nap.
We'll be back in 5 minutes.
It's like the Grateful Dead. We'll be back in 45 minutes. Yeah. It's not that I'm getting old, John. It's just that I go to sleep early and I wake up early. What did I tell you?
Yeah, no, I was just signaling somebody shut the door.
What was that? You put a spell on me? All right, listen. Let's get the show. Let's get the show on the road here.
Let's get the show on the road.
I'll talk to you in a bit.
You got it. I'll see you guys in the chat room.
See ya. Well, there you have it. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, Grunge and Gribe Soap Company, DeWolf Publishing, and 126 Hardcore Clothing. It's a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. Don't compromise. They are about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself, my friend. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them. Ramp up your weak-ass wardrobe game at www.126clothing.com. Come on now, DeWolf Publishing. It's a completely independent publishing house formed by authors Amy Yates Wolfing and Stephen D. Lodovico in Philadelphia in the year of our God, 2014. To date, they've released 5 books with widely ranging topics, including graffiti culture, American ska and reggae, punk zine culture, and the soon-to-be published memoir of Adrenaline OD. Their mission is to preserve and curate subculture and its history. Get your face out of that phone and into a book at www.dewolf.com. That said, let us bring on our guest. Get my intro here. Make sure everybody in the chat room, Rick to Life hasn't infiltrated it. All right, we seem to be good. Here we go. Today's guest is a Scottish musician, film director, producer, and writer. As a musician, he's known for his work with Real Mackenzie's, Certain Death, Billy Bio, and of course, The Exploited. As a filmmaker, he's known for his films Rajland, Vamplyfer, and his new cinematic masterpiece, Dick Dynamite 1944. Please welcome, coming at us from Kirkcaldy, Scotland, within the Kingdom of Fire, Robbie, Mr. Robbie Steed Davidson, a.k.a. Beans Goldblum. Hey, man.
How's it going, Drew?
How are you, buddy?
Yeah. Good. Just back from a holiday or vacation, as you would say. We were down at Alton Towers, a big theme park. So, yeah.
And that's of course, that's all within Scotland, right?
No, that's down in England. So we drove down to England with the kids and went to this big theme park, and it was pretty insane. It's like some of the I think it's like Guinness Book of Records roller coaster with the biggest turns and corkscrews upside down and all that stuff.
Do you go on that?
I did, and that one was a few years ago crashed, and like tons of people had to get amputated off. So one of our kids refused to go on it because of that. So it was like the last thing we did, and it was like super late at night, and it was so extreme.
Yeah, I don't go on those things, man. I don't. I just don't. They just don't. I just don't like them. They just make me nauseous. But it was funny. We were out in Coney Island the other day, and someone was talking about the cyclone in Coney Island, and I remember going on the cyclone years and years ago. When I was raising, the kid, and that thing is like. That thing is like just goes bam, bam, bam. It's like I feel like I lacerated my kidney. The cyclone in Coney Island is like going inside like a metal dumpster, getting thrown down a hill. It's horrible, absolutely
So
horrible.
does Coney Island still have attractions
Oh yeah,
like that?
oh yeah.
Really?
Oh, they.
Because
As a matter of fact, Coney Island is on the up and up lately.
right. Because I
Yeah.
went there, off the back of being a fan of the Warriors. I was just like, oh,
Yes, of
we're in
course.
New York. Let's go to the Coney Island. And we went, unless I'm just being an idiot and went to the wrong part, but I couldn't see or find anything.
Oh yeah, it sounds like you went to the wrong part because it's still
Right.
there. It's still there, and there's still a lot of landmarks, from the Warriors.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that said, what's the latest? How you doing? How'd you make it through the zombie apocalypse?
Well, for the pandemic, I was kind of in isolation within isolation, as my missus puts it, because we had begun filming for Dynamite. We'd filmed maybe like a third of it by that time, and so that gave me time to really polish what was left, like organize it, but more so all the editing and special effects. That time during the pandemic, I was just really able to like hone it in and edit all that stuff. So it really did work some wonders. But obviously, it's a life-changing thing. The pandemic changed everything for everyone. And ever since, we're trying to come out the other end of it. It's not the same, is it?
Didn't
Pretty
you,
extreme.
you know just to play the hand as it unfolds? Alan Robert from LOA says, "Hey Drew, what's up, Robbie? We had some fun in Europe together a few years back with LOA Billy Bio Tour. That wasn't the persistent.
Right.
Didn't you do the Persistence tour with Billy?
Yeah. That was the Persistence tour ended, and pretty much lockdown happened. That it was like I think it was like January, February 2020, and then it was just like boom, everything just sort of shut down, like really close.
So the life of agony thing he's referring to was a separate tour.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago just now, actually, because I got some
Oh,
Facebook
okay.
memories coming up. So it was like 4 years
Got
ago
it,
exactly, and
got it.
that was a wicked tour with those guys.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, we got a lot to talk about with the film, but before we get to the film, let's do a background check on you. Let's do a little background stuff, and let's talk a little music, and let's make our way to Dick Dynamite, 1944. How did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? In a film household? How did music and film come into your life?
Well, I did grow up in a musical household in the sense that my dad he painted backdrops for bands, like the big banners that they have behind them when they go on tour. So he'd been doing that since the 70s, and obviously, like me being a kid at this time, we'd moved down to London for a little while, and it was quite common for bands to come round and chat artwork with him and stuff. So there would be like bands like the Damned and things coming round to chat about, oh, we want like this album cover or whatnot.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And at the time, apparently, I had said in front of the Damned, I was like, Dad, when's the Pop Stars coming round? And at that time, Captain Sensible was at #1 with a Happy Talk. So
wow.
Talk about pop stars, that was like a huge hit.
Now, and of course, back then everything was painted by hand, right?
That's right. Yeah. Because a few years ago, he was actually gonna pack it in. He was just like, I'm done. Everything's digital now. And I was like, no, like market it as like,
yes,
you're doing it old school. You've been doing it forever. You're like one of the main guys. to do it, and people are going to want that. You know, they're going to want the sort of old school hand done thing, and he didn't push that, but you know, he was still doing it. You know.
Do you remember any other when you were growing up? Any other you know, sort of banners that he did that you know?
Totally, for sure. I remember them all. Like even when I was 5, I went to help him with one doing for the Flying Pickets. They were like a Welsh group. They were like,
oh, Alan says he did Life of Agony.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. He did.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
there was
awesome.
some super cool Life of Agony ones. Like 96. Actually,
There you go.
Yeah, before my dad passed, he actually one of the last backdrops he did before he died was actually the last Life of Agony one. Yeah, which is
awesome.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
His art lives on forever. It's awesome.
Yeah. You could. I mean, he done like tons of stuff for the Ramones and stuff as well, and like apparently Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam has got one up in, I don't know, his living room or practice room or something, which is that's super cool.
Yeah, he was close with Johnny Ramone. Yeah, he ended up with a bunch of his memorabilia. Yeah. Is that right, Gary? It says the Flying Pickets "Only You" was a huge hit. All right. Okay, I have to look this up. Yeah, that's cool. So you grew up in basically in a musical household, and film also. Did film speak to you as a young person?
Watching movies with my dad and stuff, it would always be like, oh, check this bit out in Goodfellas. It's, you know, it's like all shot in one take and everything. You know, he was super into the ins and outs of how it was done, you know, and he would sort of explain a lot of these things, and I just thought it was super awesome. But you know, that it wasn't until I think I was like 15 or 16, and we got a family camcorder, and that's when sort of things took a turn for the filmmaking side of things. You know, just like started making skateboard movies and sort of jackass sort of stuff, and then just silly sort of horror things as we were kids, and that's what started that sort of journey.
Sure, and of course the one take in Goodfellas that you're talking about is that great Steadicam shot when they walk in through the Coca. And at the time, I think that was one of the first usages of a Steadicam rig like that. That incredible shot that walks through the Copa. That is an incredible. Still to this day, it's a great shot, man. Yeah, like Mark said, the shot is legendary. It is. It's a legendary shot. Yeah.
And there's even that a shot similar, or that might have influenced it. I don't know if it's from like the 1930s or something. Obviously black and white, and it's in this like super old, not like ballroom, like cafe or something. And the camera goes like right over the tables and stuff. You know the one I'm talking about. And like I was trying to work out how the hell did they do that in 1930s or whatever it was, you know, the camera.
Especially when the cameras were so big back then.
Yeah. But this was attached to the roof. So that it was on some sort of, you know, tracking device attached to the roof, and that's how they got it so low and close to the tables. It's pretty mind blowing, you know, even for something so old.
So who influenced you early on musically, and what inspired you to pick up guitar? Is that what you picked up first?
Yeah. Picked up guitar first. I mean, my dad played guitar, and he'd show me like little bits and bobs and stuff, but because it was lying around and stuff, I never took it very seriously, you know. But as I was growing up, you know, I went to tons of shows with him, you know, a lot of the shows that he'd be working, and I'd be just this little kid hanging around backstage, and you know, and I just thought that was normal, you know. It was super cool. But then I guess sometimes it would be like I'd be like at a friend's house, and like his big sisters are all like, "Oh, your dad just done the backdrop for Europe, and like, can you get their autographed?" and things like that. So I was just like, oh, like just thought that was normal. But then, I was actually at a Maiden show. I know you were talking about Maiden earlier on, and I think like it was the Seventh Son of a Seventh Son tour, and I was like 8 years old or something. And I fucking hated it. I know tons of people will hate me for dissing Iron Maiden, but I was just like, I was just getting into rock music and stuff. I loved Queen and things like that, but I just thought it was super cheesy, like theatrical. I was like, I don't get this. I no. And then I kind of went off rock music after that. I started listening to like my dad would get lots of samplers and everything from record companies and things, and like it was like listening to the Beastie Boys, and you would get loads of stuff like that. So I started listening to that for a couple of years, but then started to get back into like AC/DC, like that changed the game, you know. Those
Sure.
guitar tones was just sick. Motorhead, a real game changer for the Speed. But
Sure.
it wasn't until I heard Metallica for the first time I was like, wow, that's what I want to do. That's
If I
just-
may interject, I have a belief that where you were growing up, in the Motorhead was a big band in that part of the country, right?
oh, huge, yeah. I mean, they were on
Yeah.
like kids TV and on a Saturday morning and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts to think that.
Because Motorhead didn't break here in the States until much later, and
Really? Right.
yeah, oh yeah, no, Motorhead didn't really make really. They were playing clubs, you know. While you look back on in the era you're talking about, they were playing pretty big venues in the UK at that time. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
But yeah, like so, like just going up in high school, it was like I was like Metallica, start learning guitar, and then that was it from then on. You know, like first year in high school. Which
Any particular Metallica record? What really spoke to you?
And Justice for All. You know, like when that came out, that came out when I was just sort of like 10, 11 or something, and I was just like, oh, this is it for me. You know.
Yeah. So you picked up guitar and started a band?
Yeah. Like I've been playing a year or something, and I made my first band with my brother and my best friend Sandy. We're called Minion, and listen,
Good name. Good name.
There was like my dad had like the precursor to a DAT recorder, so like recorded all these songs that we're doing. It just sounded like the Chipmunks do Napalm Death. It was, we're like 11, 12-year-old. Oh, my brother in that case, I think he was like 9, just like screaming his head off, and it was terrible but amazing.
I mean, I know the Exploited, you joined the Exploited at a certain point, but was Certain Death before that? Is that something you've had long running?
No, Certain Death formed like 2000. I think I'd been in Exploited a year or so, and then started doing Certain Death like 2000.
Was there a band before the Exploited? How did you come into how did the Exploited come on your radar?
Yeah, so I'd started like my first like gigging band was called Melon Farmer. It was like that on TV here back in those days. They would overdub movies, and like the word motherfucker was dubbed with Melon Farmer. But it was like really yeah, and it was done like really badly. So it'd be like almost like an English accent. So like. For example, the one we took it from was Repo Man, with Emilio Estevez.
Sure,
and it's like the cop bursts into the liquor store and he's like, freeze, motherfucker. But like they dubbed it so bad, it was like, freeze, Melon Farmer. And that was it. It was like, like that's our fucking name. So it was like I started playing with Melon Farmer and like started playing shows since I was like 14 with them, doing that, and then it kind of fell apart, late teens. And then Exploited. I think I was maybe like 19 or something. I'd been living abroad for a while, and I'd got back, and it was like the Exploited were advertising in like magazines and stuff like Kerrang and things. And it was like, oh, could you join Exploited? Here's the details, blah blah blah. And like my dad approached me about it because he'd done the Exploited backdrops. He's like, look, here's the advert in Kerrang, blah blah blah. But it was like, look, I've got Watty's mobile number. If you want to do it, I could just give him a phone. And cheers, Mark. but that was the thing. I was like, I don't know about, I'm like, I was like 19 years old or something, and I thought about it, and people were like, man, do it. You get to play guitar, which you do already.
Did you see them play before this? Were you familiar with their music?
I was familiar with their music because my dad had some of their albums or singles on vinyl, and also Beat the Bastards when that came out in 96. That was huge. Well, especially here, Like that was massive in Europe and MTV, so I was familiar with that. And anytime I would like go traveling or that, sometimes you would always see Watty and Exploited at the airport, at Edinburgh Airport. You know, you're guaranteed to see them.
Couldn't miss
So
them.
yeah, so that was it. Yeah, so familiar with some of the singles, Beat the Bastards, and yeah, seeing them at the airport.
So was there an audition process, or how, how did it work out?
Yeah. So my old man, he phoned Watty and he was like, "Oh, I've got somebody that wants to play guitar." And Watty was just like, "Oh, is it you?" He's like, "No, it's my son." And like apparently Watty was just laughing. He was like, "What, 19-year-old kid? Well, whatever." And he was like, but he got through it and he arranged an audition. And I had to go back for a second audition because Watty couldn't remember it. So so after that, oh, there we go. That's I've got there's somebody using that as a profile picture that sent me a friend request. It's pretty
Great.
Weird.
Nice.
I think that was in oh Christ, it was like Tallinn. I think there was Tallinn. So like between Finland and Russia, and like that festival there, you know, it was the first time this festival was playing in this like small town or village. So like the governor and like all this like Eastern European like soldier security around them, you know, like they set up these big long tables at the side of the crowd of the festival, right? And like we were invited to dinner with like the governor and all the security.
Wow.
But Irish Rob, the bass player, he'd went for a walk around the festival, you know, checking out the merch stalls and all that stuff. And when he came back and saw us all at these long tables with this like governor dude and his security, he just went to take a seat. And the security just like pounced on him. We were like, no, he's with us. He's our bass player. Leave him alone.
Oh, jeez. Wow. I mean, being in the Exploited must have been quite an adventure, man. That's, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
I got banned from 2 countries that I can remember or know of.
You play guitar on this, and man, this is you know, I gotta say, man, this record is. I love this record, and this is a great this is a great record, and I have to say that, you know, one of the reasons that this record is great is because of your guitar playing and your songwriting. I gotta say, because I know this is a guitar-driven record. I cannot. Like, this record fucking smokes, man. Like, I was listening to this the other day again. This record hits me the same way like the Minor Threat stuff hits me. It just cooks, man. I love the production of this record, man. Like, can you give us a little insight onto the making of this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the whole time that I had joined them, the whole process was to start working on a new album. So it was quite a long time before I'd even played a show with the band. You know, we were just working on this album like non-stop. So it was a good few years, like 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes practicing 4 or 5 times a week, and we're just working on it non-stop. And then we went to demo it down in Nottingham, and then I think we recorded in 2 different studios down south. One in Battle, which is in Battle of Hastings.
Wow.
Yeah, and the producer, Simon Effamy, his nickname was Arse. He had half of his insides removed, so and he could do like the most lethal farts in the world. He would clear like the whole studio.
Yeah, this record is and you know, I asked you, is that Watty's brother playing drums on this thing? Can he drum like that? Can he drum like that?
That's all him, man. That's all him.
You
know, like that was early 2000s. So
yeah,
you know, it wasn't, you know, nowadays it's all sample this, sample that, you know, like what you hear on recordings these days is rarely any real drums, but you know, no, Willie kills it, man. He's so precise. It's unreal.
Yeah, that thing cooks. Here's I'm not sure where this is from, but this is obviously, who's that on the left?
That's dude from Total Chaos.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to work out where that is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
and there's
cool.
Marshalls behind
Did
me. I don't
did
usually.
yeah. Did I mean, did you do a lot of touring while you were in Expo? Did you see a lot of the world?
Oh yeah, tons. I mean, on and off, it was like 20 years with them.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe a bit longer than that. Yeah. So toured. I mean, South America various times. The States maybe 4 or 5 tours plus festivals. All around Europe multiple times. Japan, Indonesia was really cool. Loved that there. Um, yeah, not many places we've not been. Yeah.
Yeah. And at around the same time, like you said, you this is 2000 and this is Certain Death in 2000. How does your now I'm assuming Certain Death was really your personal vehicle, correct?
Yeah. Me and my brother. I mean, that's my brother in the middle there.
Uh-huh.
And in fact, the drummer in the Miller T-shirt, that's Snars. That's Dick Dynamite himself.
What?
Um, yeah. That's him.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And
That's
that
him.
that photo, yeah, that's him. That
So is
photo
he
wasn't
so is
set up
he
like, oh,
was he in the band with you?
yeah, man. Yeah, he's the drummer.
No
He's a
shit.
yeah. He's a big ape on the drums. He kills it. But yeah, like that
That
photo, like tons of people were like, "Oh, you guys set that up," and like you've been drinking tons of beer, and it was like, no, that's real.
yeah. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot going on there. Beer, I don't see much in beer. I see everything else. Yeah, there's some
there's
beer
beer,
bottles there. Yeah, yeah.
there's cheap cider and Lambrini, which is a bit of a lady's drink. I'm not quite sure who that was.
Yeah. Does let me see. I have another one. Certain Death. I don't wait, is he in this picture too? Hold on. Oh, I get it now. He's a bandmate. Okay.
Yeah,
I
he's
was
a drummer.
I
Yeah,
was wondering where he came from.
yeah,
Yeah. Is that him in the middle?
That's him, man. Yeah, that's not so long ago. Yeah.
For those out there that are wondering what we're talking about, apparently the and his name uh, is Snars. How does he pronounce his
Snars.
name?
Yeah.
Snars.
Snars. Yeah.
This guy Snars is the one and the only. Hold on, let me find it. Dick Dynamite, who is the lead actor in your new film, right? There he
That's right,
is.
man. That's him. Yeah.
Let, let, let's go. Let's go laterally with this. So,
Yeah.
did he pursue after this music thing? Did he pursue an acting career? How did he end up in sort of like the title role in your film?
Um. Well, I guess after my last short film, Rajland, it was just like, right, well, what do I do next? Do I do some? Rajland was like this little short film about a guy getting hunted
Sure.
by lots of homeless people, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just
We'll
like,
get to
right,
that.
what,
Yeah.
what do I do next? And I'd always wanted to do something, just almost like Schwarzenegger taking on the Third Reich. Like I was a huge
I see.
Arnie fan, and it
Mhm.
was like that was the movie that never happened. You never saw in the 80s an Arnie film where he takes on the Nazis, and like we'd done like various silly videos and music videos where Snars was a sort of buff gym teacher and all that, and
Mhm.
he's a big dude, and
Yeah, he
then
is.
that was the sort of idea of it. It was like, oh, why don't we have you as like the sort of Arnie character, just like killing everyone, and
Yeah.
then that's how it started. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's yeah, he plays and that his accent in the film? But that he doesn't
No, no,
no,
he,
that's
he's
not
he's
his
Sco- he's yeah, he's Scottish like me. So yeah, he's putting on this sort of Arnie style accent.
okay. Well,
That
okay, that
yeah.
all right. The story is unfolding here. I get it now. That's cool. You incorporated one of your bandmates, and here's another shot of you guys. What's this? A Bloodstock?
Yeah, that was very recent. We got banned from Bloodstock because it's a big metal festival.
Right.
We got banned. We don't really know the ins and outs of it, but yeah, right before going on stage, we were told we would never be back. But you know, like we put on such a show, like people were like, "Man, you guys were like the best band of the weekend. I had the best time." People were like, "I got fucking robbed in the mosh pit. Coming before see you guys. I didn't have my phone," and I was like so bummed out. But you guys totally cheered me up. You know, like we're like record amount of stage dives and everything for all the bands that were playing the whole weekend, and we do this thing like the rowing boat where my brother gets people to like line up, and it's meant to be a sort of competition. You're rowing a boat, and then once the song kicks in, they all just go crazy. But he was like, I want to see everybody doing it, and it was like right from he was like right out of our tent all the way to the hot dog stand. It was insane. You know, people were just like walking past, not at our show, being like, "What the fuck is this?" And then just like joining in, sitting down doing the rowing boat. It was insane.
Robert Hogg, who's in Scotland as well, said Robbie saw Certain Death many times over the years, always great live, even ended up on stage with you all in Audio Glasgow, along with others.
Yeah.
Brilliant venue. I'm just over the water from you in, how do you pronounce that? Bonus?
Bonus, yeah.
Bonus, yeah.
Bonus, yeah. Cool.
Right.
Cheers, Robert, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Audio was cool. Yeah, we played their Audio with MOD, I think. I don't know if it was that show. We played, yeah.
Dunk
Hey,
Mitch,
Mitch, how you doing?
beans. All right. Good.
Yeah, Mitch done sound for us a bunch of times. He's cool.
Oh, right on. Does Certain Death play? Do you guys pull it back together every now and then?
Yeah. We've got our like 20th anniversary Halloween show coming up a week on Friday. So it's like 20 years we've been doing the Halloween show. That's always a good night, you know. Like everybody local always just gets like dressed up to the nines and makes an effort, and it's just a really good night. So that's going to be cool. My brother's his Misfits tribute band are headlining, which fits for Halloween as well. So that's
of course they are. Yeah. You know, just to keep it on the music thing a little bit, then we'll take our break and we'll do Women of the Pit, and then we're going to talk film. But I want to talk a couple more minutes about music, and
yeah,
you know, this is a shot of you on stage with our good friend Billy Graziadei, Billy Bio. And how did you fall in with Billy?
He was a subscriber to my OnlyFans. Just kidding. With Billy,
good one.
With Billy, it was a mutual friend of ours, Sylvie, a Dutch photographer.
Yes, of course. Sylvie Matheson, right?
Yeah. Mattman, yeah. She put the film. She was like, "Oh, like Billy's needing a European guitar player." And so I was like, reached out to Sylvie. I was like, "Oh, can you give me more details?" And she told me about it. But the way she described it, she was like, "Oh, it's this and that. It's experimental." And I'm like, "Okay." Like the way she described it and the word experimental, I was expecting it to be something like Tool or something. But then the minute I was chatting to Billy and he told me about it and sent me stuff, I was like, wow, this is super cool. It was like the first track off the first album, was it Freedom Isn't Free? And it was just 100 miles an hour, fast, raw, punk hardcore. I was just like, man, I am in. This is way better than experimental Tool stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So
he sent you this record and said, this is what we're doing. This is what we're touring on.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
But then we went on to do there was I think 3 tours I did, but we went on to do one and we ended up doing stuff off Judgment Night. And from what I know, have you got the gold record up behind you? Am I mistaken? Judgment Night.
Yeah.
That was the thing,
that's, where is it? It's up there a little bit.
Here we go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So even though that was 3 years ago, maybe, we were the first band ever. Biohazard never done that stuff live.
Right.
So we were the first people to ever do those songs, which I thought was super cool.
I saw. I guess you weren't in the band. When he played in the States, right? You were like the European dude.
Yeah. That's right. It's Dan Palmer, who's doing the
Right.
US stuff.
Yeah.
From Death by Stereo and Zebrahead.
I listened to this today. As I was doing my homework, and
Mhm.
you play on this.
Yeah, on a couple of tracks, yeah.
Yeah, you play
Um,
lead. You play lead on a couple of tracks, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
your leads are unmistakable. I hear them and I'm like, that's Robbie. You have a very
Well,
yeah.
there was one like Billy was asking me. He's like, "All right, here's a song. Here's the one you do," and it was Van Halen died, and I was just like, a couple of days later, I was like, I don't know, I wouldn't normally play that style or try.
Right.
Obviously, you can play like Van Halen, but for the first time ever, I tried sort of like tapping stuff, and I'd never really done that before. And I was just like, I've got to try and do a little shout out to Van Halen. He like just died like 2 days earlier, and it seemed to work. I was pretty happy with it. It was cool.
Got it. Yeah, there's a couple. I think you play out what, like 3 or 4 or 5 tracks on this?
I think it's just two.
Two. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go way back with Billy.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, I did all those videos, man. Produced all those videos back in the day, and I don't know if you
Well,
heard, but Biohazard's getting back together.
Oh, I heard. Yeah. Man, I grew up on all those videos. Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super cool. We're getting back together. So
Yeah.
and they're getting to play Bloodstock, but but I can't.
Oh yeah, wait. I have that somewhere. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
Let me dig in my Biohazard. Here it is, right here. Biohazard Show 1. Biohazard. I think that's the first one. Here it is, right here. They're playing. Where is Bloodstock? Is it what?
It's down England somewhere. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go. They're headlining the Sophie Lancaster stage. I don't know who Sophie Lancaster is, but
she
Biohazard is.
She was like a gothic girl that I think she was beaten to death.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really tragic, and now there's like a foundation for her and stuff.
I see.
But it's quite a big movement in the UK, which is super cool. It was like obviously tragic and absolutely disgusting what happened to her. But that it's like a big thing now, and super cool.
Yes, Eric Perillo. Biohazard's back together with Evan. It is the original band, and they've announced 3 shows in Europe, and I can't comment on anything else. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens from there. What do you got to do? What do you got to do to get banned from Bloodstock? What'd you do? Sleep with the what'd you do? Like sleep with the owner's daughter or something? What'd you do?
Well, it just seemed like a chain of events. I think, like, one thing is like my brother and Snars, the drummer, like, so half the band work for a VIP camping company, and it's just like, so like, do you know what? It's like, if we've got our own VIP camping company, we're going to stay there on site. It's going to be cool. But I think that ruffled some feathers somewhere along the line,
sure.
and that just set things off. From what I understand, and then from then on, it just seemed anything. I think another Scottish band were apparently rude to staff, and like we got the blame for that. And then the guy was phoning us saying our van was going to get towed away and everything. And then he's like, take it out of the box office now. I was like, that's not even us, like it just seemed like he had it in for us for some reason.
I've been there, man. When it goes bad, it goes really bad.
Yeah.
When it goes bad, it goes really bad. For sure, absolutely. Hey, let's do this. Let me take a sponsor break, and let me shout out some sponsors and some upcoming shows, and let's come back and let's do the Women of the Pit segment, and then let's get into Dick Dynamite 1944. Okay.
Epic.
See you in a bit. Well, there you have it. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today is Robbie Steed Davidson, a musician, Billy Bio, exploited, and film director. And we're going to talk about his films, including his latest, Dick Dynamite, 1944. In the meantime, here are some sponsors and other merchandise. Yeah. Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area? Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey guys, Vlad from Organic Grill. As you can see, we're in new location on West 3rd Street, right by Blue Note and Comedy Central. The place is bigger, kitchen is bigger, we have more varieties, more food. We are looking forward to treat you guys with great dishes. All Hardcore Chronicles, welcome to Organic Grill. We are going to serve all the events as we usually do, and we are happy to see you guys.
There you go. And we're back. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. What else do I need to tell you? If you're wondering how to support the show, I know you are. There is a Patreon page. Please join us on Patreon. I just put on I just put a clip on Patreon. All the outtakes that were not chosen for the Sick of It All Road Less Traveled video. If you're a patron on Patreon, you would see that. If you know the Road Less Travel video, there was one take. It's a one-take video. So I put up a bunch of I think 4 or 5 of the others that were considered only on Patreon. So join. There's also a PayPal address there if you want to make a contribution. Please support this show. What else? You know what? If you are a patron, you get the New York Hardcore Chronicles, Volume 1, 1980 to 1989, a flyer oral history for free. I'll even sign it. This one is signed to Deborah. I don't know who Deborah is. I don't know why this book is signed to Deborah. If your name is Deborah, maybe there's a Deborah out there and you want a book, reach out. If your name is Deborah and you can prove it and you want this book, I will send it to you within the continental United States. But anyway, if you're a patron, you get the book for free. For some reason, people have been asking about the book lately. It's available at www.stonefilmsnyc.com. Support the show, buy the book. There you go. www.stonefilmsnyc.com. Are you Deborah? Excuse me, Whitney, are you Deborah? It's at www.stonefilmsnyc.com. Buy the book. I'll sign it. I'll even, you know what, too? You even get an incendiary device patch. Ooh. Put it on your punk rock battle jacket, Want to shout out my my recent patrons, Joe Soldezzo. Joe Soldezzo. Thank you. Scott Vigor and Hendrik Feller, thank you for supporting the show. You're making this happen. You are the train. You are the engine that drives the train. What if you identify as Deborah, asking for a friend? Yeah, great book. Hey, Joe, your book's in the mail, bro. Your book's in the mail, Joe. You're getting it any day now. See? Yeah. You can ship an incendiary device patch through the mail. Yes. That said, what else? We got through everything. We sort of punched through all the other stuff early on. You know what we didn't do? What about, let's do this real quick before we bring the women of the pit on and all of that. Let's do, that doesn't make sense either. All right. You know what? The next 3 shows coming up. How about that? Listen, pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Coming up on Sunday, this Sunday, of course, today is today, so we're not going to talk about that. But this Sunday is Chris Hauer and Eddie Medina from Powerhouse. This Sunday, October 23rd. Then Wednesday, November 2nd is the Anthrax Club retrospective, excuse me. And then Sunday, November 6th, Tom Lyle from Government Issue will be on the show. So there you go. That said, let's bring the woo man of the pit on the show. I'm talking about Lori Dawn. Hi.
Hello.
Gina. What's up, Gina?
Thank God.
Hey, how you doing, Drew? Hi, Laura.
I'm like, am I the only one on today? Oh no.
You did say woman.
Oh, no.
You and Deborah. Everybody wants to be
Yeah.
Deborah now. Everyone's like, oh, I'm Deborah. I'll take the book.
Yo, Larry Kelly, bro, please. Larry, please don't do any super chats because I don't want your money, bro. It's like you're the last guy that needs to be throwing money my way. Please don't. All right? You do so much for the scene and so much for me in particular. I'm embarrassed. You know what? I'm going to take that $4.99 and I'll buy Rochelle a flower or something with it, okay?
Oh, that's nice.
Well, you know, yeah, the Lexa shout out. That was heavy, man. It's heavy.
Yeah, it was cool to see her out there. It was great to see everyone kind of support and carry her downstairs and just made sure she had a good time, and she did. So
she had a great time.
Yeah.
And she was right next to what's homegirl's name? The other gal that's in a wheelchair. It was like we put them on the they were on the top deck there, you know?
Yeah, them and the kids.
And I told her, don't bring the bring the kids down. No. Because the club told me, no kid, we don't want kids. And like she shows up with these little kids. And I'm like, no kids in the mosh pit. I don't want, you know.
They were protected up behind the railing.
You know what? Those kids are cool. They had a good time. At one point, one was crying. And I said, what happened? I thought, oh no. And she's like, his younger, older brother was like harassing him or something.
Well, it was cool because after your set, Mike gave her a drumstick. And I have a picture of that, of Mike giving her a drumstick. And she was like, she thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Right. Cool.
So, yeah.
So we're gonna bring our guests back on. But and I have a video clip. I have a video clip, but I also have a photo. I guess I don't know which photo does them justice.
All of them.
Yeah, let's try this one. You know, tell us a little bit about who this is.
Okay, so today we're going to Scotland. We're on a Scotland theme today. So we're going to a little northern village with Bradicus, a couple of sisters there, a bassist and a guitarist. They play with a drum machine, and they are amazing. Gina, you could tell us a little bit more about the name.
So the name is funny because whenever they're interviewed, people always ask, what about the name? Where did you get the name? And they're like, is it Latin? Is it, German? You know about the name?
Well, I'm reason I'm interrupting is I have a clip of them where they sort of explain it. Should we just watch the clip?
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah. Holy shit, I gotta lower that.
Where did you come up with the name Braticus? How did that come about?
It's a completely made-up word that our dad used to call us as a joke if we were being naughty when we were kids, and it was kind of that. But we just thought it sounded funny, and so we used it as our band name. But it's confused every single person that's ever heard it, and everyone's like, "Is it German? Is it Latin? What does it mean?" Everyone has theories. So we should have really come up with a crazy meaning for it at the start of our band that we could have told everyone. It sounds like a lot fancier, or maybe like more interesting than it actually is. I think people are probably let down when they hear the actual story.
Well, that accent sounds familiar. Let's bring today's guest back on the show, Robbie Steed.
Hey, Robbie.
Well, that sounds like a familiar accent. You ever hear of this group?
Yeah. They played my local hometown as well a couple of times, but I'm actually more familiar with their dad's band, Sedition. Yeah.
So that was the tie-in. That's what we were kind of hoping, that there would be some sort of connection there, because he used to play in Sedition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Sedition's I'm not familiar, a old school punk band
from Scotland?
Like mostly, like sort of crusty sort of stuff. Yeah.
And I think they pronounce their names Bria and Una, from what I can tell. So, and Bria, the guitarist and singer, always wanted to be in a band, but she just couldn't find people to play with. Their town is so remote and small and sleepy. So her sister started playing bass, and then that's how they started using the drum machine, because they just couldn't find a drummer. But it just ended up working out, and I think they have a really cool stripped down punk sound that I absolutely love, and it just works. So you can find
at first I was like, is there a drummer? It took me a minute to figure out. It took me a minute to figure out
a drum machine. And see, that's why they have the skeleton. They just program a drum machine, and then they just go with it. And they have they have one full length out on Bandcamp, and some singles there. You could check it out.
They say a bunch of people want to play drums for them, but now they're like, they have to live up to the machine. Like, that's another popular question that they get asked. Like, did you name the drum machine? And they're like, it's like a Sasquatch. It's like a like an urban legend.
And with them being sisters, the relationship is so close, and I guess adding a third person might kind of also add some drama. You never know.
Listen, God bless. I don't think the last film I made, The Jews and the Blues, my brother was involved as well as my father. I think at this point, about the last person I want to be in a band with is anyone in my family.
Well, they're sisters and they get along really great.
They make it work. They make it work. They were homeschooled and they spent a lot of time together like that. So they figured out how to get along with one another. The only thing that they didn't have for a long time was their same taste in music, but they kind of got on board together.
Right.
Yeah. The town that they're from, the Town, they're famous for whiskey, but they are a straight edge band, vegan. So
we come from a town that's known for its whiskey, but we're a straight edge vegan band.
Yeah, and vegan. Like, apparently that's not really a common thing over there. I don't know.
Got it.
I think they do.
Robbie would know more.
Yeah, they
vegan is getting more popular. Straight edge, not so much.
Yeah.
It's Scotland. It's the home of whiskey and some nice drinks, some not nice drinks. I mean, I can't comment.
Yeah. All right, Lori and Gina, thank you so much, and that was a great connection here with our guests. Anybody wanna mention, Gina or Lori? Anything going on?
Well, we have our show coming up, so
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a
November
good
November 6th. You
Yeah,
know,
we're doing a benefit show for a women's shelter in New Jersey. So we just got a bunch of flyers printed out. So we're probably going to hand them out this weekend at the shows if anybody's around. Sick of It All and Cypress Hill on Sunday. We'll be out there. And then up in Boston on Monday.
Yep.
Here I have
we'll be roaming the streets.
I have the flyer right here.
Wild in the streets.
Wild in the street. There you go.
There it is.
And yeah, I'd come to the show, but I have to do this show that day.
Yes. We know all about it. It was cool because so many of the people that are playing this show were there on Sunday. Like we really have a super cool community that show up for one another, and I love that a lot. So
everybody gets, and it's a little bit of a trip from me here. How late is this going until?
We can stay as late as we want.
And who's playing last?
Dead Crew.
And Butterbrains before them?
Yeah, and Enziguri before them. So
we'll see if
you might be able to catch like the last 3 or 4 bands.
I go to sleep at 10 o'clock, so
you'll be home by 9.
All right. Thanks a lot, you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Robbie. Thanks for coming on the show.
Guys. Yeah, good to meet you.
All right, there you have it. Women of the Pit Spotlight.
Okay.
Good stuff. So let's talk film a little bit. But before we make it to Dick Dynamite, what got you started as a filmmaker, and what headed you in that direction?
So yeah, I started like we were like 15, 16 and got like a family video camera. And then me and my brother started making skateboard movies, and then that sort of progressed. It was a bit sort of Jackass, actually, Jackass style, and then sort of little horror skits and things like that. And then I put out like 3 sort of pirated videos, mad footage 1, 2, and 3. That was all sort of like skateboarding, Jackass, and horror skits. It was just pretty crazy stuff.
Yes, someone did ask earlier. If when you were growing up, was skating and graffiti part of the culture?
Graffiti not so much, but skateboarding. You know, like the skate park was right next to my high school, so
I see.
So a lot of that time we just spent, you know, hanging out there skateboarding.
Right.
But I wasn't that good a skater. I mean, I did a bit, but I was more so just filming all the stuff, you know. But then after that, I actually went to film school for a year. But and then I went on to join the Exploited, so I left after 1 year. But by the year I left, it all went digital. So a lot of the stuff like editing on tape, you know, the shuttle jog and all that stuff, all that was obsolete. You know, like so I'd spent a year learning all this stuff, and then it was just vanished. You know, it's typical. But then from then on, you know, I was just still filming stuff.
Excuse me, what skate park? Livy?
Livy. So that's a Livingston. It's the Livingston one is like one of the oldest skate parks in Scotland, or might even be like the whole of the UK. That like Tony Hawk and stuff came there like way back when. But I'm in the skate parks in Kirkcaldy at the Beveridge Park. So that was next to the high school I went to. So the Kirkcaldy skate park. And I think most at the start, it was 2 half pipes and a paddling pool. But then it got made into a full skate park later on. But yeah, done some filming at Livy as well back in the day.
Right on. So it starts with skate videos, and then
so I took from then on, like 2000-ish, maybe 99, went on tour with Exploited, and started getting into just filming everything. So I'd sort of like self-taught the sort of digital side of things and editing on Premiere and things like that. And then and then I'd actually, I think it was 2007, I'd left the Exploited for a bit because Certain Death got signed, and we went on to do a bunch of stuff. It didn't end well. It ended up in court, and I was just like that. And I went to a big festival in Canada, and I saw the Flaming Lips, and I thought I was just appalled. I thought the music was just like a flat line, and I was just like, I don't get. I just didn't get it. Maybe it's just me, and it was just like, it just put me off music. That and the court case, I was like, I should go back to film school and finish my course. So I went back and done another year just to learn sort of a lot more of the sort of basics. Like, so it was almost like a 10-year gap year, and I was learning a lot of things that I did. I went there strictly just to personally learn a lot of the things I didn't know how to do, like blue screen, green screen, and all that stuff. And
it shows in your new film, because that's one of my questions. I mean, that's a great skill set to have, man.
Thanks, man. Well, that's the thing. There's the boxing scene, and there's countless guys from New York bands, all green screened in the audience. You've got Harley from Cro-Mags. You've got Lars.
I picked up on it. Yeah.
And some people have.
Before we get to that, let's set the table. And how we got to Dick Dynamite. So, so am I pronouncing it properly? Or is it Rajland?
Rajland. Raj is like it's a Scottish word for crazy. Like, that person's
like Rageland.
I think that's maybe where the origins of it come from.
Okay.
Like maybe a more so Scottish pronunciation.
Sure.
That's my dad there in the middle with the sunglasses.
Okay.
looks like
wait, is that actor is the actor on the top right? Wasn't he in Dick Dynamite?
That's right. Yeah. And so is the guy with the TV antenna. So Lefty there. He's the Scottish character in the movie. Yeah.
Sure. So tell us about. So was this? Yeah.
So after film school, I actually started working at my local YMCA, and I was doing like teaching music and film stuff to kids. So then I was doing that, and then I worked on TV for a while as well, and that was rubbish. So I left. And then, but then, like in between all that stuff, I was always doing like music videos, either for my own bands or like other bands asking me to do it. And then, went on to make Rajland, this like 20-minute. Cheers, Gregor. Went on to make this 20-minute short. That was more so, it's about a guy getting hunted by homeless people, essentially.
Okay, and then go on.
So then the next thing after that was, it was just like, what did we do next? Did we do like Rajland Part 2, not literally a sequel, but like the sort of the successor to that? And I was just like, well, I'd written Dick Dynamite years ago, and I was just like, obviously this would require like Hollywood level budget and skills, and I was like, you know what, like maybe I'm ready to just really throw the boat out and be super ambitious and try it. And we threw it out there, and it stuck, and it just seemed to work.
Was there what was Vamplifier? Vamplifier, excuse me.
Yeah.
Was that just a film? Yeah, go ahead.
That was a movie we made with the kids at work and people from the YMCA and some of the staff that worked there as well. And it was this, we shot it there just at work, at the evenings that we were running, like the youth clubs and stuff. It was kind of based on a true story of a giant ampeg that just seemed to be cursed. It would always like hurt people, rip people's clothes, crush people loading out in and out of the van. So it was just came up with like, right, how many ridiculous ways can you kill people with an amp? So that's how that started.
Now we're going to get into the weeds here, so to speak. When you did Rajland and the other film, did you self-fund them? Did you do a Kickstarter thing? Because how did you get to the point of doing Dick Dynamite, which obviously took a couple of bucks? Like, it's an ambitious film, man. Did you have in your previous films, were they sort of dress rehearsals to get to that point?
That's how I'd put it. Yeah. It was kind of like a test run, and like I said, I think Rajland, there was no funding involved. It was just like me and like a bunch of friends were like, let's get together, let's make this fucked up film, and there's no fun involved. Everybody was just involved, like for the love of it. It was like, yeah, this is pretty nuts. Because I mean, locally, you know, a lot of the sort of films and short films and stuff that come out of Scotland are a bit sort of like artsy and things like that. The whole sort of film scene, there's not a lot for kids with nothing, you know, like that's kind of what our course provides. We're giving kids access to stuff that they don't have, you know, whether it's like music recording equipment or film stuff, because like a lot of the stuff that's getting put out there is by rich kids and gets into festivals, gets money, gets awards. You know, it seems like you can't get money unless you have money. You can't win an award unless you have an award. So there's nothing out there for people with nothing, you know. And like Rajland was kind of like, we've made this for fuck all, and it's just like a big fuck you to the sort of art wank shit that's out there, you know.
He who dares wins, you know. You know, in the arts, you know, a lot of times, and you know, I've been down that road, you know, many times with my films and situations. So let's talk about Dick Dynamite a little bit. Now, I have a clip here I'd like to play.
Okay,
this is the Indiegogo clip. I think it's really great. I think you used it when you were looking to raise a couple bucks, but I thought it was really well done. Let me clear the deck here. Let's take a peek at it.
I'm Robbie. We're on the set of Dick Dynamite. What's up, my friend? We just need a little bit more money to make the film happen. Well, it's going to happen regardless. Got some cool shit in it, cool people, and cool zombies, German. Backers, we're not forgotten about you. You're going to get all your perks. We're going to finish the film. But if we just get that little bit more, it's going to look awesome. And I'm going to show you a little clip right now, and you're going to love it. And fuck!
Yeah, man. You know, I just want to say, and you know, you deserve a medal and a monument. You know, I know what goes into these things. I do. You know, I know what goes into making an independent film. You know, I grew up in the film business. Like I said, my dad was a film director. I've been around it my whole life. You know, I've directed a couple of independent films. I have 4 films on Amazon right now, blah, blah, blah. Yo, I know what goes into these things. You deserve a medal and a monument. And I was in awe of you know, of this film and what you did here, man. Just really incredible, man. I mean, the magnitude of the work that you put in on this. I mean, you wrote it, you directed it, and you edited it. I mean, it's incredible, man. It's just my hat's off to you, man. You know.
Thank you, man. Thank you. But that clip you showed, actually, I'm kind of like, oh no, because that clip was put together like we'd only just started filming.
Yeah, I saw a couple of things in there I don't think I saw in the film. Like
exactly, yeah. I needed filler. It was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So a couple of bits in there that didn't make it.
Yeah. But I watched the film. Now you sent me it was a long cut, man. It was 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it was a long cut. Is that the cut you're going with, or is there an edited more edited cut?
Yeah. So that was more like a director's cut. We had a sort of sample screening for like audience feedback to see what to do with it.
Sure.
So yeah, it's like 2 hours 15, like you said, and I've managed to cut it down to 1 hour 53, which is a bit of a shame, you know, cutting out some bits and bobs. But you know, in the long run, these things might be super cool with sort of like DVD extras, like missing scenes and all that stuff.
Is this the screening you did of that cut that I watched?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. And how did this screening go?
Oh, unbelievable. The two showings there. The 7 o'clock one was sold out, and the 2 p.m. near enough sold out as well. You know, like it was more so like a test screening, and also you know, it's not out yet, but it was more so for all the people involved to come and see it. You know, but with all those people with a +1, you know, it's a lot of people. You know, there's the whole community got involved as this ball sort of got rolling with this. You know, there's like tons of extras. And like even like friends businesses would sponsor it and stuff, you know, like helping give us food and stuff, like when we're out and filming. It became a movement basically.
Yeah, and just looking at the credits of the film, you know, it's just staggering. Now I have the film, but I just want to talk about a couple things and poke around a little bit. And just kind of go off my notes a little bit. You know, one thing that I have in my notes is that I like the look. I like the look of the film, and you know, I attribute that, of course, you know, to the cinematography, and I just think it's shot really well, and I like the look. How did you come to that? Was it shot on? Is it 24 frames? Fill me in on the look of this.
Yeah, that's how it started. We were shooting on split.
Go ahead.
We were shooting on 24 frames. You know, which is the closest you can get digitally to real film, and then actually put a real film gradient over the top. There's Nick.
There's Nick. That's Nick Oliveri from Queens of the Stone Age. And I have to say, of course, you know, I see all kinds of our friends pop up. Nick, Vinny Stigma, Mike Gallo, Lars from Rancid, Joe from Wisdom in Chains, Harley Flanagan. Like, they all turn up for a second in this film, you know?
Yeah. The good thing about Blag and Nick was that they got to be in it in the flesh. You know, some people were blue screened or green screened in. But you know, they were in town playing in Edinburgh, and it was like, oh, what are you guys doing before the show? It was like, want to come and film with us in an underground bunker, you know, like, and yeah, they went for it. And then there's Irvin Welsh, train spotting author. So it was managed to pull in a lot of resources.
Did you have multiple cinematographers, or was it one guy that basically carried it through to the end?
So there was, well, myself and my mate Hunter from up north, but mainly Ian and Sandy, two friends of mine. Sandy started out just as a photographer, but he had skill, so I was like, look, come on board, try filming instead of just being a photographer. And he fell in love with it, and he's helping out a bunch of stuff. Ian makes his own short films. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. But mainly Ian and Sandy, they're fucking so talented.
What was it hard to have continuity between cinematographers in a situation like this?
It was a nightmare, absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I figured.
So we started off on Sony A7-6300s, I think. But then Sandy changed cameras halfway through. He went to Fuji. The Fuji looked lovely, but Ian's a Black Magic guy. And I don't know if you've used Black Magic.
There he is, Ian Gordon. There he is.
Hey, there he is, man.
There he is. Good job, mate.
But the Black Magic shoots on a raw format. I don't know if you've used it. So when you get the actual file, it almost looks black and white, but it's more treatable in post to like bring out the colors and all that stuff.
Sure.
So that was super hard. It looks fucking amazing, the Black Magic. So to try and make that match the rest of the stuff was really hard. But I think there's Sandy. So they're both Black Magic guys now, and I'm thinking about making the change there just so whatever we do next, like, all matches up.
It's just some great And you know, and like once again, I tip my hat to the two cinematographers. There's some really well composed shots, some really well done stuff, man. I must say. Now, you said you went to school, and um, you know, I think, you know, because I was wondering, you know, how you know, a lot of the what the I don't want to say effects, but a lot of the post stuff that you did. I was wondering
Mm.
where that came from. Now I understand that you learned how to do, because you edited it. You learned how to do a lot of this stuff, like like a couple of your gags that you know, the blood into the camera lens, and all that's done in post, right?
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of it. Like we started doing test footage about halfway through of we actually used water balloons for blood. You know, we filled
Yeah.
water
Yeah.
balloons with fake blood and
I
just like,
saw that. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like we pelted people with it. And originally the idea, originally the idea being that I would edit, like cut from just the point of impact, the point of explosion. But
Mhm.
then I was like, what if I edit out the balloons almost frame by frame, you know, like as they enter? And
Right. I'm trying to find a great shootout scene. There's a couple of them that are just raging, man.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
the one in the sugar silo.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
like that starts off, it's like a minute long. If you
Yeah.
go back into it,
Am I going
um,
back?
no, other way.
Other
And
way?
it's like the first minute of that is all done in one take. So keep going.
Hey,
It's about,
by the way, I have a note about this scene. I thought this
oh,
scene
okay.
was done very well. I like the music in it. I thought this scene was done really well, man.
Thanks.
You
The
know?
guy, the bald headed, the German guy, that's his name's Paul Boggy. There he is there. So he's
Uh-huh.
a Edinburgh author. He
Uh-huh.
was a heroin addict and went on to be a soldier, and then like was like a Queen's Guard and things like that. So super cool
Right.
story. And the little kid
Yeah.
Jacob, he's just brilliant in that.
Yeah. This was a very good, well done scene. I like the I really love the music throughout the film. You did some great music stuff. Okay, I'm looking for that really
Yeah, about
crazy
three-quarters of
scene.
the way through, maybe.
Okay, hold on, I'm getting there.
Spoiler fest here. Close your eyes, everybody.
Yeah, yeah, we're scanning through the film. Okay, it's all happening.
It's coming up soon.
It's all happening subliminally.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Take it back a
Yeah,
little.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let me take
So
it
like
back a little.
the start of that was all done in, yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
It was started a little earlier than that, but it's all done in one take. But even yeah.
Great shot. How you came around like that. Yeah,
That was
great.
Sandy. Yeah, yeah. That was done on his
Yeah, great.
Fuji on the
Great,
gimbal. Yeah.
great shot. But yeah, this scene is off the hook, man. It's quite a melee. This scene, you know. Yeah. Did you now the I was thinking about a lot of the gunplay in this film. Here in the States, you know, these days you never get away with it after what happened with Alec Baldwin and everything. You know,
All right.
I guess the way you were kind of shooting it, you got it. You really got away with a lot, man.
Well, the only bit that had real muzzle flash was this scene, and it was only like a couple of takes. Like the girl shooting the MP40, and the bit where Snar's Dick Dynamite is doing the sort of one-handed stuff.
So all the muzzle, and this is a question I had. All the muzzle flash and stuff like that is all put in post.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like two bits in this scene that were real. That's that there. So
Yeah,
the girl firing there, half of that was real, but it wasn't rapid enough. So I had to add in like more flashes and smoke and shells.
And so this is all stuff you learned go in school. All this stuff you learned in post, muzzle flashes, smoke, all this stuff, huh?
Pretty much coming out of school and just like dicking around with my friends. We're like, oh,
Man,
try blowing somebody up, try someone getting shot.
That's great, man.
Like
What a great, what a great skill set to have, man. I mean, it really made your film, man. Learning this stuff, really made the film. This scene is great too. Yeah, it's a great scene.
He's actually on a green sled there, and
what did you? And you green screened it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of I gotta say, a lot of great green screen work. Another question I have is the dialogue. Was the dialogue dubbed back into the film?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
most of it.
So you had to get the actors back into an audio studio to dub the film. That makes sense.
Correct. Yeah, correct. That was almost like redoing the whole film.
Yeah. D says regarding that scene, The Killer, that film, The Killer. Right. Was that an inspiration? That scene in The Kill in John Woo.
Oh, The Killer. Yeah. I'm a huge John Woo fan. Yeah, and everybody who likes John Woo, they always going about Hard Boiled, but now I'm all about The Killer. Right. The Killer is totally underrated. It's like, as you see, the dual wielding pistols is pure John Woo.
Exactly.
But the fact that D picked up on The Killer, awesome. Thank you, big compliment, because it's one of my favorite films ever, and for me, like, it's way better than Hard Boiled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you stop showing some scenes? I'm like, oh no, spoiler.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's not out for like another year or something. The plan is like to like do film fest for like a year or
right,
however it takes. Normally, you probably know more than me, and then hopefully it gets picked up for distro and then it gets chucked out there. Yeah,
absolutely. That's why I have a film that's doing that circuit right now. I also, let's talk about the locations in this film, because the locations and wardrobe design, they were both the wardrobe design was exceptional, bro. I mean, the German uniforms, and I know how much work went into that. I thought it was really well done and good attention to detail. Can you comment on that at all?
Yeah, sure. Like a lot of the costumes, like we got some reenactment guys involved, but also toward the end, I'd end up buying the wardrobe department from the Outpost movies. There's 3 Outpost movies. They were all shot in Scotland.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm not sure when the last one happened. Maybe 10 years ago or something. So they must have had all this stuff in storage and nothing happening with it. Pandemic, everybody's broke, so the chance came along to get this stuff, and I was just like, man, we're nearly finished the film, but I've got to take it. It was too good an opportunity to pass up. So we sort of shot some other scenes once we had that stuff, so we could suit up even more people. But locations, yeah. I mean, I've actually still got my list to the side of me of all the scenes and everything, like
was it all shot in Scotland?
Yeah. Apart from there's some of the bits where it's like Vinny Stigma and all that.
Yeah, of course.
That was filmed on tour.
Of course.
So some of that was filmed, you know, Switzerland or Germany and stuff. But all of that was blue because they're wearing green army fatigues, and you can't film green on green, otherwise, you know, you're not going to see anything. So those bits were filmed abroad, but all the real stuff, all the real locations, they were all here in Scotland.
And are some of those locations sort of anti-World War II sites?
The one in the opening credits was, but it was like super overgrown and like covered in graffiti. So we actually spent days like, you know, like cleaning it, painting it, you know, because painting over the graffiti and like, you know, getting rid of all the bushes and stuff. And you know, it looked amazing afterward. But the thing was, like, we shot it on a particular weekend, and then during the week I'm editing some bits, and I'm like, that's the place there. Yeah, it was covered in graffiti, and so during the week I'm editing, and I was like, fuck, we've missed a couple of shots. We really need this, that, or that to make the whole scene work. So it was like, right, get a key select few guys. We'll go back this weekend and like get the bits that we missed, and we went back, and some fuckers had graffitied the place with their own paint, which is kind of our own fault.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like cool graffiti or anything. It was just like stupid stuff like "fuck the police" and all that. So we had to film a lot of it in reverse, like have people left-handed instead of right-hand, and then in post flip it and things so that it worked. You know, i.e.
I see. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So things like that. But it was kind of our own fault, but we made it work.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, it was just such an incredible effort, man. I mean, you know, just the amount of camera setups and the amount of just, man, what an ambitious project, man. My hat's off to you, man. And for those that are wondering, I think that this kind of sums it up in this. I don't know if you call it, if it's sort of I don't want to say it's a review, but it says Inglorious Bastards meets Evil Dead. I think that's in the ballpark, you know?
Cool.
Yeah. And but yeah, it's something else, man. It's once you get it out there, I'm sure it's gonna be successful on the circuit, and this film will find a home. You know, there's what is it? It's the name's escaping me. The sort of the streaming service for like horror and splatter
Shudder.
films. Thank you.
Shudder.
Yeah.
A few people have mentioned Shudder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it shows some really cool stuff. I saw some great films on there, so it'll be up there with them. Would be amazing. Yeah.
Oh, one question I have, and part of the film, it looks like you're a couple scenes are shot amongst some real, like, sort of World War II vintage airplanes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, where is that?
Okay, so the boxing scene, we filmed that at a local airport, but the guy actually had a replica Spitfire that he was trying to sell. So I'd messaged him saying, "Look, you're trying to sell this, but before you sell it, can we hire it for a shoot?" And it was like, all right, it's gonna cost this much, and and I was just like, well, what if we come to you? You know, so like we ended up filming that's the boxing match where he keeps the Spitfire rather than shipping it out to somewhere and costing like a lot more. So we filmed that there, but where it was kept, there was actually a real D-Day plane, a Piper Cub, it was called.
Yeah,
it was used in
I noticed
D-Day
it.
London.
Yeah, I happen to be a little bit of a World War II.
Oh, cool.
You know, like let's just say a buff. You know, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then there's the scene where the troops are actually flying and the C-47 Dakota, and they're actually the real D-Day planes as well. And what it was the 75th anniversary of D-Day, and some of those planes were coming in from Canada and Iceland and stopping over at Glasgow before they went to Normandy.
How did you know? How did you know about this?
So one of my guys, like working in film and stuff, he was doing part of the press for it, and he was like, by the way, he's like, these planes are coming in Glasgow Press Week. It's a bit hush hush, but like I'm setting up doing some of the TV interviews and documenting it. you should come down.
Sure.
So it was like, so I kind of got an unofficial invite, and so it turned up. So Donna, who's helping out on the film, she has a DeLorean. So my plan was, it was like, right, how can we blag and bullshit this? And it was just like, what if we turn up in the DeLorean? So they're like, wow, what is this? And then like them being enamored and they went at us, and so and it worked, you know, like the pilots of these planes are like, wow, this is so cool. Can I get my photo? I was like, well, can we get our photo and film in your plane? You know, your flying machine? And it worked, you know, they were there for like 3 days or something. So the next day, you know, we were like, I had guys on standby. I was like, right, we've got the go ahead. You dress up as pilots, blah, blah, blah. We'll drive in and we'll film on the planes.
You know, in my experience, people like that who have a love for that sort of stuff, they want their stuff out there. You know, they want to share it. They want to share it with other people that have a common love and enthusiasm for that sort of nostalgia, right?
Exactly. That's the thing. I mean, last weekend, me and Sandy, one of the camera guys, well, we were at Comic-Con. I took my kids, and Noah Hathaway, that's in the Never-Ending Story.
You were at Comic-Con here in New York City, right?
No, the one in Edinburgh, like
okay.
Last weekend or the weekend before.
Because I saw pictures of you at Comic-Con, and I thought, is he here in New York?
Right. No, it was the Edinburgh one. But but me and Sandy were like going around. We was like, oh, check this guy dressed up as blah 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 and blah. And we're like, you know, we get chatting to them. We're like, look, man, you interested in being in the next one? You know, give them a dynamite car sort of thing. And they're like, hell yeah.
Sure.
You know, if these people, it's an untapped market. If they're up for dressing up and going crazy and doing all stuff and look the part, you're exactly right. It's like they want to get that out there, and that's it.
Yeah, and in the spirit of that, there's like a crew here in New York that dress up. Talk about the Warriors. They dress up the Baseball Furies, you know,
wow.
And they show up all. But there's like 4 or 5 of them, and they do, you know, they do it verbatim. You know, they show up, you know, as the Baseball Furies. You know, like those kind of guys. So yeah, it's good stuff. Hey, let me take my last sponsor break, and let me shout out a couple sponsors, and let's come back and we'll take some questions from around the world. Okay.
All right. Awesome.
All right. See you in a minute. That's right. It's on. Our guest today is Robbie Steed Davidson, filmmaker and musician. We're talking about his new release, Dick Dynamite 1944. We are sponsored by blah, 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 and New York Hardcore Comics. They opened back in 2013 when lifelong friends Debo DePro and Lee Fairley combined their collections and obsessions for comic books, punk rock, toys, statues, gathering, Magic, The Gathering, and all things horror. The store is located at 117 Main Street in Dobbs Ferry, New York. Open 7 days a week and shipping worldwide. Contact them via email at newyorkhardcorecomics@gmail.com or at www.newyorkhardcorecomics.com. I will be at New York Hardcore Comics tomorrow, shooting a spot that we are going to play on this show. So I don't have to friggin' read this shit anymore. We'll be shooting a spot at New York Hardcore Comics tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you are in the area, please come by. We would love to see you. Come on now, the Texas Silver Rush. It's a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rolle, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. Information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram page, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. DTFM Vinyl Distro is a record store that specializes in underground music, punk, ska, hardcore metal, and more. Located in the heart of Fargo, North Dakota's industrial district, shop in person or online at www.dtfmvinyldistro.com, where the motto is death to false metal. Last but not least on our journey of sponsorship, Grunge and Grime Soap Company, our handmade soap and skincare company with a rock and roll spirit. Based in Nashville, Tennessee, they combine their love for rock music and their love for creating products that are good for your skin and good for your soul. It's the year of our God, 2019. They've been creating high-quality, natural, handmade soaps and skincare products with ethically sourced and sustainable ingredients. They give 10% of the net proceeds to local and community outreach programs. Visit the website at www.grungeandgrime.com and enter the code DREW, that's DREW, to get 20% off your first order. Hey, just a heads up, our good friend and supporter who was on the show not too long ago, Mr. Joe Sib, is going to be up in Boston at Nick's Comedy Shop, October 21st and 22nd. Yo, we love this guy. He's a funny guy. If you're up in the Boston way, go see Joe Sib. Have a couple of laughs. Get up, get out, and have a couple of laughs. That said, any questions, please post them. Any questions for our guest, Robbie Steed Davidson, regarding his new film, Dick Dynamite 1944, filmmaking in general, about his time in the exploited, Billy Bio, whatever. I know some people posted a couple of questions earlier. Please repost them, and we'll get down. So here he is, Robbie Steed Davidson.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see what we got. Let's see. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, that's a good point. Who is it? Tell Steed he's a big job. He loved the 54 crew.
Do you know what a job he is, Drew?
I don't. That's some sort of that's yeah. I'm a New York guy. I don't know. Yeah.
A jobby is a turd, essentially.
Okay.
But this kid, Travis, he's in the movie. He's like 11 years old or something. Like that picture of him, he's singing with Watty on stage. He sings in his own punk band. They're awesome.
Okay.
Shout out to the Damn Rats. That's what they're called.
A question from RS70. Have you two ever considered collaborating? No, but I'm certainly thinking about it now after watching this film, man. Because you have a really you have an intricate, you have a commendable skill set, and which I do not have. You know, I mean, yeah. Okay. Volt says, "Go on, let him have it with the Scott slang." All right.
Oh man, where do I start?
Here's a sort of an exploited question. Let me put up a photo to go with it. This way we have sort of a nice visual here. Did you play with any crushed grindcore bands during the exploited? Listen, I know you play with a million bands during the exploited, but anybody really come to mind that for you personally, sort of like, you know, it was a thrill to maybe tour or play with anybody in particular?
Oh man, tons of bands that we toured with that were super cool. Crust and grindcore, not so much. Like we wouldn't get put on bills like that a lot of the time. But a band that stand out. Let me see, Clowns, a band from Australia called Clowns. You heard of them?
No.
Oh wow, like they put on like the best live show I've seen in a long time. We toured Spain with them, but they were getting like pretty big for a while, and they're on like Epitaph Records, I think now. I love those guys. Clowns were super cool.
Any RS70 coming up? Were there any old school Scottish hardcore punk bands that sort of, in your opinion, never got their due, or like, you know, sort of, you know, really should have been something, you know, really could have, you know, never really got their just desserts, as we say here?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. A band, you're probably not allowed to say it now, Jap's Eye. Like when I was like 15 years old, like I got to know them a bit, and like I was going in the back of their van, jumping into shows and stuff. They were a bit sort of crusty, thrashy, but almost a bit rappy, you know. Like this is around sort of Judgment Night era time as well, you know. It was just like a really bizarre mix, sort of like crusty punk, hardcore thrash, but with sort of like a rap element over the top of it. And they would dress up and stuff, sometimes in boiler suits. So, you know, like mid-90s, like they were set to go huge. And I think like they went to go on their first tour or something, and something really bad happened that split the band up, and that was it. Which is a real shame, because they had something really, really special. Everyone thought these guys are going to be huge, and then
Volt says The Process. They were Scottish, weren't they?
That's right. Yeah, big Gav, the singer. Yeah, I know Gav. Yeah.
And then Gregor says Divide from Glasgow.
Divide. Yeah. They're like sort of sick of it all style hardcore band. Divide. Yeah.
Did you have? Here's one. This is from one of our resident music historians. Chucky Brown says, "Is it true he would start a mosh pit in the womb when his mother was pregnant? I believe he would go crazy to AC/DC."
What the fuck? That's true. How does that guy know that?
Yo, man,
that's true.
We have some people love this show. We're lucky, man. People really
Chucky,
go deep with this
know.
show. How does Chuck? Yeah, Chucky Brown big time again.
Wow, that is genuinely true. Yeah. There's one that popped up. Favorite exploited song to play. I'll just chuck that out there. Disorder. It'll piss off Watty because But I love playing that song. So.
Yeah. Someone did ask favorite Disorder for favorite. Oh, here it is. Kevin Heggs, what's your favorite exploited song? Yeah,
I love playing Disorder. Like it was weird for me. There was like this weird sort of circle. Like I kind of got to know Exploited through the Judgment Night soundtrack, which is Slayer and Ice-T.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's just like the age I was growing up. That's kind of where I first got on. You know, when they do that sort of Exploited medley, and like Disorder being one of them, which is just fucking awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I remember that. Yeah. Let's see. You know this. You sent me this photo. I'm not clear. Who is this in this photo?
All right. So that's Roger from Agnostic Front.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on here?
So this was meant for like a bit before the movie starts, much akin to like Band of Brothers and stuff. Like
I loved Band of. Did you watch Band of Brothers the whole thing?
Loved it. Yeah,
I really loved it, man. I loved it a lot, man.
Yeah, I've got a bit of intel for you that I'll have to keep for a private chat about.
Yeah,
about the next one as well.
Yeah,
there's a new one.
So go
there's
on.
a new
I'm
one
sorry.
coming. So there was Band of Brothers Pacific, and then there's a new one coming. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, but it's more so about like I think it's like about the Luftwaffe and stuff. Like it's more so like a flying one.
I mean, and Band of Brothers was really taken from what do you call it? Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan. Yeah.
Which I think is a fantastic film, man. I think it's a damn good film, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go on, Roger.
So yeah, this scene with Roger, we filmed that backstage in London. Actually, I think that was the last show of the Persistence tour, like pre-pandemic.
Sure.
And the idea was to have Roger with makeup on and like super like old dude clothes, almost like him telling his tale like a veteran. Which was,
I see.
But the tale he was telling was just like super gruesome and over the top extreme. But our makeup girl couldn't make it, and you know he didn't have the makeup to look super old, which is a real shame because it would have been such a cool thing to do. But who knows? Maybe
it was like at the end. Excuse me. It was like at the end of Saving Private Ryan when you see his young face and they sort of, that was a touching scene. Yeah. Gary says, followed the making of Dick Dynamite on social media, but when is it likely that the general public will get a release? I can't wait to see it.
Hey Gary, so cheers, man. Cheers for following it. I mean, basically from what I understand is once it's showing, it's got like a year's lifespan for getting shown at the indie film circuits and stuff like that, the festivals. And then from there, like the right person will sort of like pick it up and be like, okay, cool, I want to pick it up. I want to put it out, I want to distribute it. So it's kind of got like about a year's lifespan from now until it will start getting put out on DVD, or if we're lucky enough, streaming streaming platforms and stuff. I know it's a lot of time to wait, but there will be something else, at least local in Scotland. People are asking for it. But it is going to get shown at film festivals, hopefully, all over. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can attest to that. I have a film that it just, is doing the festival circuit, and it's a weird feeling because it's out of my hands now. Like it's out of my hands, and I'm sort of at the mercy of this like situation. I basically have to wait in a way almost like a year before it is basically available to the general public. It's doing festivals and doing this. At the end of that, it'll go up on streaming platforms. Hopefully, like my other films on Amazon or whatever, and people will be able to see them. But there's sort of that year of like you feel like you're wandering the wasteland a little bit.
Exactly. Thanks for backing that up, Drew, because tons of people ask all the time, "Oh, when can I see it? How? When?"
Yeah.
And that's exactly it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, man. That's how it is. RS70S, are you creating any new music?
I just finished a track for a wrestler, but Certain Death are doing some new material as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And who knows, with the new Exploited record, there might be 1 or 2 songs I've written on that as well.
Is that right?
There might be some leftovers, yeah.
Okay. And this is a Certain Death shot, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And what kind of guitar is that?
So that one, I think that's one of my Orvos.
It's at first I thought it was a Les Paul, but at a closer look, let's talk gear for a second. Are you an Orville guy or like what's your guitars these days?
I love Les Pauls massively.
Yeah.
I've got a few, but I've slowly started getting rid of my Gibsons.
Right.
And I'm getting these Orville's Japanese, and the one in the background's a Burney, which is also Japanese. You get them about a third of the price of a Gibson, and they're as good, if not better. And in the case of the Orville, when Gibson sort of caught wind of all these Japanese brands making the guitars better than them, they went over to Japan. They went over to Japan, try and shut them down, but also it was like, all right, well, you guys we like so much, we want to take you on. So the Orville brand is the Japanese Gibson, like legit.
I see. So they sort of they absorb them into the collective, Yeah. Just in the spirit of sort of going through all the photos that we have as we wind down. I want to say that wait, hold on. Okay, Robert says once again that Persistence tour in London 2020 was a brilliant night. What a way to go out just before the pandemic. I'm assuming this is on that Persistence tour, correct?
That Robert's right. That was the last night.
Oh wow!
What a night to end it, and that was the thing. That next day, everyone's like COVID-19 was getting more serious by the day on the news or on your news feed on social media and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that next day, everybody from all the bands, all departing, was sort of like there was something in the air. It was sort of like, all right, guys, I'll see you next time. But it was it just felt a little different.
Sure, and I remember I had a lot of friends out on that tour, and I remember as it was kind of going down here, that thing was winding down, and you guys just sort of wrapped it up, and then the shit hit the fan,
Exploited got it pretty bad actually, because I was out on Persistence, so I wasn't with Exploited, right? So they went out to Australia and New Zealand to do a tour right as it was like kicking off big style. And what he had said something sort of like flippantly is like, "Oh, we're not canceling a fucking tour because of a virus."
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
And it went viral, right? And like, I was in the photo of it, and there was like all these people. Oh, imagine these people! They have groupies and wives. Disgusting. Which is quite funny. Yeah. But the funniest thing was Billy Joel, dude from Green Day.
Yeah.
he fucking lost his shit about this because that was the thing. What he said, "Oh, we're not canceling because of some stupid virus. Who do you think we are, Green Day?" And like,
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And there's previous with them, right? There's previous with them. And when he put out this tweet, he was like, "Fuck you, you pink milk mohawk bitch," like, and then retracted it. But it was so funny.
We got to get Waddy on this show one of these days.
You have to, yeah. Because his stories, I don't want to say too much exploited wise, because
of course,
it's got to come from the horse's mouth himself.
Of course,
like there's what 40 years of chaos, destruction. It's
chaos is my life.
Yeah,
chaos is my life. Great, love that record so much, man.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Chaos is my life. Fucking record is great, man. Hey, what can I say? I just want to thank you for coming on the show. I really enjoyed. I'm honored to have you on, a fellow independent filmmaker, and you're welcome back anytime. Anybody you want to thank or shout out on the way out?
I'll say cheers to the Exploited guys. Actually, I think they're out on tour right now. So have a good one, guys. Miss yous. Too many people to thank for the Dynamite crew. You know, as you said in the credits, there's like hundreds of people. To my missus, Val, for putting up with me, and she's in the movie as well. She's the lady in red. And all my kids are involved in the film as well. 2 in front of it, 2 helping out with camera. Cheers for putting up with me being a total stress head trying to get this film done. And everybody who's helped out, or all my bandmate brothers, every band I've played in ever. And yeah, and everybody who's going to come and see my movie and support it.
There you go. Well, thanks a lot, Robbie. Let's keep in touch, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
Defo, Drew. Thanks so much, man.
My pleasure. Take care.
Okay. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Cheers. Well, there you have it. Robbie Steed Davidson was our guest today on the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, talking about his career in music, his career in film, and his upcoming release, Dick Dynamite 1944. Great show. I really, thanks, Astoria Lou. I enjoyed it too. I love talking film with people, man. You know, thanks, Gary. Thanks, Lori. You still out there, Lori? You want to come on? That was good, huh?
Oh yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Doing some accounting at work here.
Oh, you didn't cover the couch yet for the cats. So
I know.
Yeah. That was great. Great show.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I'm so bummed though. I was like, expecting to see that film sooner.
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, you do these independent films and they got to do the circuit and it's out of your hands, and it's not like you get it done and it's pretty,
absolutely,
it's
and like we have hey Chucky, we have a film festival here in Woods Hole, but I really doubt that Dick Dynamite 1944 is going to be shown on Cape Cod.
The one film that I did that I was very fortunate was the Alago film. Who the Fuzuck is that guy? The Fabulous Journey of Mike Alago, which is on Amazon now if anybody wants to see it. That film, when it was nearing completion, I showed it to somebody who went over the moon with it, and it ended up getting a distribution deal like before it was even done, and I'm very fortunate. And then it went straight to Netflix. So pretty rare, that happened. But that happened with the Alago film. Then it was on Netflix for 3 years. So.
How do films get chosen for film festivals?
Say that again.
How do films get chosen for film festivals?
Let's be frank here. The film festival circuit is just a wretched scam. And I'm not a big fan of film festivals because basically you and we could do the Laurie and Drew Film Festival, and we could solicit submissions from films around the world and charge $25 for a submission. And we could get thousands of submissions and make, a lot of money, and then just screen a couple of films on a dirty bed sheet. And it's the Drew and Laurie Film Festival.
I say we do it.
Basically, yeah, right. Basically, film festivals are a friggin' disgusting ripoff and a scam.
All right.
In the end, it turns into really who what what you're connected. I mean, not all of them. There's some great honorable. I've been involved with some great honorable film festivals, but for the most part, film film festivals are just a rook, and they don't even look at your film. They just take films that are connected or that they're connected with,
Right.
and people submit their films, and it's in a lot of ways it's tough, man. It's a tough racket. It's a
Yeah.
really tough racket. I was thinking about starting a film festival like the New York Hardcore, Chronicles Film Festival or something, but I got enough headaches already.
You should start one so we can see that film earlier.
And speaking of which, she's on the way over for dinner.
Okay.
And boy, am I in trouble now that she heard that.
Maybe she's on the train and she doesn't have reception.
Oh, yeah.
We love you,
Do it. The
Rochelle.
Scotland. Yeah, believe me, I love Rochelle. Do
Yeah,
it. The Scotland crew will be on a flight straight. Maybe something to talk about. Maybe we should do the New York Hardcore Chronicles Film Festival and show cool, hardcore and punk films for a few nights.
That would be kind of awesome.
It's tough. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. And I got to say that I didn't get a chance to tell Robbie, but he really inspired me as a filmmaker. It's seeing a fellow filmmaker do something so ambitious really inspired me. Because I have a script that's being in a rewrite stage right now called Finders Keepers, and that's the big dream. Is to do Finders Keepers someday. I can't talk about. A lot of people know what I'm doing next. It can't be public yet. It will be soon, but we'll see about that. But yeah, film festivals are a friggin' scam. They suck, man.
Yeah, I've been to a few, and a lot of the shows, it's usually kind of like, wherever you are, like the ones that they choose for this film festival, kind of snooze fest. So
a lot of it is what you know and who you're connected with,
yeah,
and who your distributors. It's a dirty game. It's a dirty game. But there are some great films. There are a couple of really great ones that are righteous and honorable. So
yeah.
that's it. So all right.
That's
Well,
good. All
thanks.
right. Well, it was a great show today. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you. When are you guys up again? When's the next Wednesday show? Let me look.
It's the second. It's the Anthrax Club.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I thought that one was today, so I had a totally different band chosen.
Things are a little crazy right now, But there you go. All right, Lori, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye. Another great show. Thank you all for stopping by. We'll see you on Sunday with the Powerhouse guys. And until then, friends, Romans, and countrymen, do good things and good things will come to you.